Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 11. This week, we are going to be filling in more boxes in our research project part one form. And I just wanted to remind you, because I've seen a lot of people who are just filling in the text box each week for each assignment, and that's totally fine. And feel free to keep doing that. But you might save yourself a little bit of time if you download this research project part one form or make a copy of it to Google Docs, and you can turn in the partially completed form each week with all of these assignments. So this week, for example, when you turn in your scholarly article assignment, you might just have the first two boxes filled in for long form news source and scholarly article, and the rest of it's blank. And that's fine. And actually, it's great because it's saving yourself time later and it's allowing me to give you more specific feedback so that you're even more prepared when you turn in the completed form. Okay. Let me move on though. So, for our first source this week, we have a scholarly article. And well, I want to encourage you to use this link here to find a scholarly article. And I actually I I went ahead and got a little ahead of myself here. Let me pull up this so I can show you how to search for it. Um, and so basically, whenever you have this library website up, what you want to do is you want to click on Find Articles, this tab here, and then click this button Scholarly, right? And that is going to then limit the types of sources that you have to scholarly sources. And then you can put in some keywords or a keyword that you think is appropriate for your topic, like social media and mental health or, whatever. Then so it's going to bring up results that look like this. Okay. And I know that these are scholarly peer-reviewed articles because it'll say peer-reviewed and it will give, usually there's going to be a lot of authors. And usually the title of the journal is going to be something that sounds super incredibly specific and maybe a little boring, like radiotherapy and oncology. My brother's a medical physicist, so I was looking up articles by him. And so a lot of these are, very dense, specific, very academic sounding titles, computers and biology and medicine, doesn't sound like a fun magazine I'd pick up at a grocery store or something. And so, yeah, so I could look at these. And then what is great about scholarly articles is that they tend to use a very specific format. And so what we're going to have with scholarly articles, and I'll show you, so we'll have first the abstract. Okay, and this is going to be an overview, a brief overview of the article itself, which is usually very helpful to understand like what the article is about. Then we're going to have the introduction. The introduction is just like we have in our own papers. It's going to provide a hook or relevance, and then it's going to give some background information, and then it's going to tell us the thesis statement, or a lot of times it'll be a hypothesis. Then we have the methods section. This is going to tell us how they conducted the study. Okay, you can usually skip the method section unless you're a specialist in this field, and then you'll actually know what they're talking about. Results, again, you can usually skip this section. It's going to be just telling you the data and it's not interpreting it at all. So it's just giving you numbers. Okay, so the next good section to stop and read is the discussion section. This is where they're going to interpret the data. They're going to tell you what the numbers mean. And so this is where you're going to actually get a sense of like what the article is actually finding or what it's actually really about. And then a lot of times discussion is going to be, the conclusion is going to be part of the discussion section. And so that's what it is here. We can go ahead and move on. I'm going to share a short video with you that's going to show you how to cite these, but really briefly, you can just click citation and it's going to provide it for you. Okay. Social media, I'm going to skim because we just did this for our last paper. We did the Reddit post. It's going to be the same with any type of social media where you're going to cite the username, the title of the post in quotes. Then you're going to put the hosting site in italics, like TikTok, for example. Then you're going to put the date, which is going to be day and month and year that you posted it or that it was posted, and then the URL. Okay, for everything. And then with books, books can be a little tricky. A lot of times students ask me, they're like, do I have to go to the library and get a book? No, you don't. You can search on Google Books. This is a book that I really loved this year called Blood Over Brighthaven. And I'm able to find several pages from the book that are on Google Books. And so I could find a quote from here, copy and paste it into my form, and then I am done. And you can find citation information on here as well. One of the things that can be difficult with citation information, books don't have that much citation information. It's just the author, the title, the publisher, and the year, unless I'm forgetting something. But I don't think so. And so then what you need is you usually need to find, because that stuff is mostly on this front cover, right? But what's difficult is to find the publisher and maybe the date. And so I would recommend searching Amazon because they make it very easy to find. So if you look down here, you have these little icons. Publisher is Del Rey, and the date is October 29th, 2024. You just need that year. Okay. I think that's everything for this week. I'm going to try to keep this video short and share some other short videos with you that will go into more detail about how to cite things. So please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great week.